Welcome to another edition of PerrisScope, where we discuss the advantages of owning and growing your business in the City of Perris. I'm Jeff Allen. On this segment, we're profiling a Perris-based company that has become a leader in its industry nationwide. I'm joined in studio by Mr. Doug Serbin, owner of Avalon Shutters Inc. Doug, nice to see you. Thanks for coming on in. We appreciate your time. Tell us a little bit about Avalon Shutters. You guys have a great story. You've been in business for a while, so let's talk about it from the beginning and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I would say about back in 1980, my business partner that I have right now, he came to me and said, look, I actually grew up in Philadelphia. He was in southern New Jersey, and he had a relative that lived out here and said, look, why don't we move out to California? There's an opportunity for us to, put a business together out there. And he said, let's just pick up and go. And we did. We drove cross country back in 1980, arrived here the first day of spring. And about a couple years after that, we actually got together and finally put our business together. We started in a garage in Redlands, a little 400 square foot garage, put a few tools in there, bought some lumber, started actually manufacturing shutters out of it. We hit the road with like an old car, some samples, and just started building our business. Just kept reinvesting back in our business, and eventually we moved out of the garage and into a small commercial unit in San Bernardino. Over a few years' time, we started acquiring a few more units, about 5 units altogether. And then in the late 80s, we decided, you know what, we're gonna need to get out of here. We need to start looking at properties. We need to get everything under one roof. So out of San Bernardino, we moved into Ontario, California. We found a building there that was about 196,000 square feet. It was pretty big. When we looked into that building, we thought, how are we ever gonna fill this place? And over time, the business built. We kept working. We actually picked up a great account, Home Depot. They allowed us to come in. We presented our product to them, told them what we could do for them, and then they started giving us a few stores in the LA market. Over time, we kept working with them. They kept giving us more stores. We built, throughout Southern California, and again, just started building our business. We approached another company, Hunter Douglas. They are a huge marketing company, but they market blinds, shades, draperies, and they do all very custom window coverings. And they do other things, but that's one of their major markets is window coverings. They have plants all over the country. So we asked them, would they give us a try at making manufacturing their upper end, their high-end shutter, which is called Heritance. And they gave us a little bit of work. We've been working with them, but they gave us a little bit of work at that time. Started growing that. They started giving us more. And now at that point, we were really cooking. I mean, we were before the housing bubble burst, we were really doing well. We were nearing the end of our lease in Ontario, and we started looking for another building. The landlord in Ontario was not willing to work with us to try to renew our contract. We started looking around, and these buildings in Perris came up. We worked with our broker and worked with the landlord at the City of Perris, the landlord that owned the building, and the City of Perris at that time. We came in, we came to an agreement, started moving our equipment and everything back in 2009 into the City of Perris. And they welcomed us with open arms.
And now your company, Avalon Shutters, is really one of the top manufacturers of shutters in the entire country. Is that correct?
Yes. What we decided to do was we took it a step further. We vertically integrated ourselves by putting what's called a rough mill in and a finish mill, where we actually take the raw wood and we make all our own parts. That's what makes us unique among all the other shutter companies that are actually in the nation, though, as far as our size goes.
So in that vertical sales model, in addition to that, is there anything else that you can think of that you think kind of sets Avalon Shutters apart from the competition?
Well, again, being American-made sets us apart from the competition because there is other competition out there that buys from imports, all right? And we have seen that people, as we go out to do our sales presentation, do care about having a product that is American made.
Another, I think, advantage that we'd like to touch on maybe is, and we've heard it's an advantage, is kind of the logistical, I think, benefits of the city. But tell us how that helped you in locating to Perris. Was that important? I mean, did you see this as kind of an opportunity to be in an area where it was easier for you to get your product in and out of the area?
Oh yeah, the accessibility as far as the freeways go, the location, yes. Even the size of the streets. I mean, you know, because we do have 18-wheelers that come in because we do ship things nationally. Our own local installers have very good access because of our location. We go down to San Diego, so we're just an hour and a half or so from San Diego. We go into LA. We go into we sometimes drive up to Bakersfield. A little bit of a travel, but that's okay. We do the high desert, the low desert. So we are really centrally located to the majority of work that we do here locally.
You know, we also know, depending on where we set up our businesses and the cities that we go to, that sometimes it seems that some cities are a little bit more difficult to work with when it comes to locating your business, relocating, expanding into a new area. Your experience overall in dealing with the city and bringing your business into the city of Perris previously from Ontario.
Yeah.
Easy for you to do.
Yes, they were very great to work with. When we first moved in, I mean, we were in a real rush. I mean, when we moved from Ontario, we had to tear things down and move it very quickly. And when we got to the city and explained to them our situation, they worked with us. They allowed us to get things set up. They allowed us to start putting a shell of our equipment together, and just said, look, we know your situation. You know, we gave them our history of what we've been doing and how we're growing. And they said, that's okay. Get your stuff set up. Of course, you're going to go through the normal process of submitting plans and doing plan checks and getting the inspectors out there. But they said, look, we will work with you. Get a little bit done at a time and we'll work with you. And that was great because no one ever really gave us that opportunity before. It was like, you know, no, you need to be all set up ahead of time and then we'll come in. But that was not working out for us this time, just because of the time frame that we had in order to get torn down in Ontario and move into Perris. Ontario was, you know, they're a big city. They were good to work with, but Perris has been great.
So it sounds like you've had a really good experience overall, and they welcomed you really in open arms. You have kind of an interesting story about that when you came into the city and you were ready to open up.
Yeah, Michael McDermott contacted me and said, look, we want to invite you down to the city council chambers when we have our meeting, because we'd like to introduce you to us. You know, you give us a little bit of your background and just kind of welcome you to the city. You know, take a picture with the mayor, which was great. So we went down that night, you know, just kind of expecting to meet with the city for a little while, explain, you know, who we were, and just, you know, thank them for allowing us to come in and working with us, you know, because we had already been in for a little bit and we already had some experience with them. So that was great. At that meeting, the city presented us with a check for some money that helped us with our moving expenses, and just so grateful that that happened.
So final thoughts then, if you would, Doug. You're a manufacturer. You're meeting with other manufacturers, let's say, hey, maybe sitting down having a cup of coffee or lunch with them. What would you tell them about, you know, making plans in terms of their expansion or future growth if they're, you know, considering making a move? Tell us, what would you tell them about the city of Perris and including that city as maybe a consideration that they have for their future growth?
Yeah, no, I would definitely recommend the city of Perris, only because of the history that we've had with them. I mean, even though once we first moved into the city, I mean, they welcomed us with open arms, and we actually had to move again. But every single time we've had to go down to the city to work with them regarding you know, the planning, just meeting with them, submitting things. I mean, they've worked with us. It's just been great. I mean, as soon as I walk into the desk there, the people have been very friendly. They guide me through what I need to do. They say, you know, just you need to go over there to do, you know, to pay the fees, and they come back, and it's been nothing but great. So the city is, I like the city because I could see what they're doing downtown. They're doing some renovation, which is looking really great. So it's been nothing but great working with them. Always, whenever we've needed someone to come out to take a look at doing or completing an inspection, they've always been very accommodating. And, as they walk through the factory, I mean, just, looking around, they've always been helpful with us.
Well, Doug, you've got a great success story with
Thanks.
Avalon Shutters. It sounds like you guys are really, really enjoying life, and you've got a great business operation in the city of Perris.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. That'll wrap up this edition of PerrisScope. We hope you enjoyed our chat with Doug Serbin. He is the owner and CEO of Avalon Shutters. If you'd like information about the advantages of starting, expanding, or relocating your business here in the city, we invite you to contact the Economic Development Department at City Hall by calling 951-943-6100 extension 277. That's 951-943-6100 extension 277. Or you can visit the city's website at cityofperris.org. For PerrisScope, I'm Jeff Allen. Thanks for watching.